So, welcome onto the stage, Mr. Edward Eunice.
Yes! Called the lyrical, so I'm going to do my best to get everything in. There we go. I can feel the greatness resurrecting my voice as Martin Luther King. My lyrical mind sharper like the Wu-Tang Clan. Conscience concerned like Talib Kweli. Energetic like punk and rock and roll. The guitar travel around places of acoustic conversation with rhythms of James Morrison. Artistry of still life. Ambitions for the Grand Canyon. Take me there on American wings, where the eagles land. Make a living through songs on imagery of life. Contemporary art is what my crayons desire. Poetry is not flat like tables you leave empty. Poetry is not silence without a voice, a verse. A microphone that blurred the dust off and blessed the stage like it was blessed souls. The noise ringing many ears to the cipher of a roundhouse collective. And now beneath theatre telling monologues and stories of Lewisham. It's seasoning food poetry, a couple of tomato plums, Maggie cubes made to flavour the platforms in saucepans. Frying pans I make cheesy omelette phrases, leave a dancing spell covered in glitters. It was her that sparked the magic when I was at the rock bottom. It was her that opened my heart and mind on pages left unspoken. It was her that believed in me, lifted me from the grounds of Hades, took me in and nurtured the critical wounds slashed by judges, slashed by individuals who thought I was a nobody. My masculine touch felt her feminine oceans that inspire ties to raise higher than basketballs can aim for the hoops. My mind is a tube map, travel through quick centralized thinking in multiple colors. Spoken word and poetry is my sketchbook of sketches on Albert Bridge. Pencils in 4B, erasers wiping out errors. Poems are my children. The mother pen gives birth to storytelling. The poetry is life, poetry is energy. Life of a workaholic, life of a black male finding himself. Poetry, the language of art, the language of impressionism, colors of Sunday afternoon on the island of the Grand Jetty, a starry night where it swirls imaginations, Van Gogh conflicting colors onto canvases, the beat of rhythms on African drums sending coded waves like a Morse code. Ghana, where art thou? Egypt, I'm reaching your pyramids to the top. Take me on a safari of the wildlife. The beat of nature has my adrenaline pumping louder than roaring lions could catch my heart jumping out of my throat. If the truth be told, let's start some controversy. Controversy for speaking my mind, mayhem for lashing out on competitors in self-defense, defense for poetic license unwritten. Spoken word inside my head, the words recited by mouth in orbit, breathalyzed planet peppermint segments, the Science Museum of Discovery, sky rockets flooding in blackness, filled with stars shining. I'm ready to take on the world, baby. Come and take me on. So, I put these words like scrubbing in order. I take it everywhere with me like a body of work was my tattoos of art. My art and national portrait gallery language where silence rules my head. My solitude of thought. How can I express words mightier than fists can hit hard? Harder it hurts like a sticky nettle. Leaving sprains of the reminded stupidity. Emotionally wounded, it cuts through you like a knife. If I can describe poetry as my journal of life, the universe of discovery of my own self. Who am I? Who are you? Where am I? Who are they? Rum punch made me tipsy, and I'm just blurred for words. Chill pill is underground, like poems of the underground. Hill songs sing my prayers to the Lord as I am in good spirits on the most high of my life. Reaching another level of the open mic in Walthamstow. Spoke word is poetry when I kiss her on the mic. Make love and words pass through open speakers. Through your antisocial mind trapped inside beats knocking you off your feet. You bear to listen to what I've got to say. If I were an iPod that I love, would you still love me? If I were your headphones who goes inside your head, would you still feel me as the poetry lover that I am? Only this is not love and sex I'm describing to you, Missy. I'm describing the world of Wonderland. I am describing the world I see. I am showing you the visions on painted canvases. I am showing you the lyrical side of things, the open-minded. Bye. Moi, unique. Through Columbus's telescope, I am showing you the local side of poetry in London. Thank you.
Amro, come on the stage!
Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Right, let me just catch my breath there. Come on. Obviously, I can tell this is my first time, so let's give it a shot. Broken images crumbling by my wall, memories of what used to be. Mirror pieces on the floor, the only evidence of who I used to be. Can anyone see where the light has gone? I stand here for hours chasing after a history gone. Broken bottles by my window, fights ending with pain. Still seeing nothing but a crack of deep fear. Brutally left in this cold world, hesitant to breathe the air I'm giving in. Suffocating myself with memory of times itself. Could I get one last call, please? This alcohol seems to cause more tears than ever dealt with. Yes, my fears. Blue flag from the back pocket. See where I'm coming from? I hear their cries and screams, but darkness swallows whole. She on her knees, but begging for more. Freedom never introduced itself over here. Tears she cries can be wiped away, but she chooses to drown herself. Down another one or two. You're growing, he says. So darker her life becomes. She finds herself living the ebony dream. Can't see where she's coming from, know where she's going. Only the route of a hitchhiker decides for her. One car to another van. I swear she's just an angel with an angle. She has a different perspective, imagery more reflective. Though her life may seem a little more repetitive. Growing, so has a greater incentive. Guess she has a lot more to learn with a lot less time to burn. Could this be of our concern? Life teaches us to move on. Like a constant bullet to our heads, we learn to not give a damn. Society creates monsters out of us all, living without no soul. Guess the devil got the upper hand. I seem to not care at all. Stack them up, and one by one, I'll sit and watch them fall. Is this the real-life portrait of me, broken with a future so clear? None but oneself can paint an image. Look beyond the horizon and see it whole. Learn to see with your heart and paint with your tears. Grow internally and wipe them smears. The world becomes a brighter pier. Thank you.
David Lee Morgan.
Imagine you were this cruel old guy who loved children, truly and deeply. Loved every beat of the way they stiff little tick-tock walk and the monkey talk and the roar and the buzz of the whisper, the butterfly why of honey and wonder and thirsty hunger. They give you their hand with everything in it, and your heart lurches into, give me a place to stand and I will move the universe. Squeeze it down into the perfect toy to light the smile inside your eye. Would give you anything. Imagine this, multiplied by every newborn smile in a heartbreak world. If you could be Santa for every boy and girl. Imagine a magic workshop powered by twinkle of the eye drive, quantum indecision and reindeer jive. Every elf in all 11 dimensions, drugged and demented, but working with manic precision. Just in the nick of time engine, that's why they call you Saint Nick. And in the back of the sleigh, a bag big enough to carry its weight and wishes. This is it, the delicious impossible minute when every child on the planet is given the one perfect gift that says this is your world, and you belong in it. Imagine you could do this one wonderful thing. But for the rest of the year, that was all you could do. And the toys would go out and be used up and worn out and broken, and that was good, the way it should be. That was why you would build them. Toys were made to be broken, not children. But in the war-torn days of the in-between year, the names would change, but it was always King Herod's reign. And his soldiers would go from door to door with bloody swords, while you all worked on through tears and horror, knowing you could never make it right. No matter how magical that one perfect night. What would you do? Would you go on working when you could only give the one perfect minute? Better than nothing. And who could argue with arithmetic? Or would you go crazy with the weight of anger and grief? Would you feel responsible? Would you feel like a thief living a life so sweet, full of hard work done well, but so many children were living in hell? Some people can't ever get enough. Give them a minute and they want eternity. The kind who can never be happy with even a scrap of cruelty. They go crazy at the thought of one child dying a needless death. They can't rest. They've got to be moving, doing, making more than a difference, making everything different. These are the crazy Santas who never give up. Crazy Santas mad with love. Crazy Santas get up at the crack of dawn, work boots on, march out onto the field, into the street, get beat, fight back, get shot at, don't stop, live life hot-wired. Crazy Santas are dangerous, but it's a dangerous world. Some people can't help fighting back whenever they see the weak attacked. They live like champions in the army of a never had a chance. Some of them pick up the gun. Some of them live like saints. All of them are powered by love. All of them make mistakes. Some say we need more magic minutes. That's the best we can do. But I believe we need to reach out for eternity. We need to be crazy Santas who never give up. Crazy Santas, mad with love.
Jade, a new copy.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Right, I'm just going to crack on. This one's called Winning. Sitting on the plane, I try to regain the appropriate state I should be in. It's not a sin to want to win, but as I stare at the vast outside, coming last is not an option. My devotion to the task is masked by my past failures. Well, all of us are players on a stage called life. Reading the words of the page, I try to engage. I need to comprehend from start to end. When will this lend itself to fulfillment, contentment, or will it lead me to resentment about the thing I'm meant to be pleased with? If I just give a smile and file away every conceivable way to stay, or rather keep at bay, my overexcitable, extraordinarily delightable feeling of the sheer nearness to winning, as I'm flying above the world, I sit curled in my seat. I'm a neat parcel, soon to be king of my own little castle. Now, walking down the street, I'm looking at my feet. Maybe the only way is to cheat. But conceit will surely prelude guilt. I've built myself a picture in my mind. The only way is to be cruel, to be kind. I find it still hard to plan the deceit. I have a small sweet in my hand. That was planned. But as I aspire toward my goal, I conspire. There's no fire, just the heat in my head. I'm a liar, or soon to be one. No one sees, suspects, or salutes a quiet one, so I can have fun being invisible. Surely it's understandable. We all want to be noticed, kissed, caressed, undressed, and as I journey on my quest, I must trust myself to leave others behind and find my own way of succeeding. Surely it is the winning, people singing your praises, not just the taking part that stands you apart. And so I won't start, but will finish by cheating. Completing at best, I would never just fest in my knowledge of how I achieved it. I'm still a little bit doubtful of how I believed it, eased it into my mind and pushed out the kind, and now all I can find is the need to cheat, the joy of conceit. I'm still walking down the street as I eat the melting sweet and continue to look at my feet. Thank you. Okay, thank you. This one is called The Cute Physiotherapist. It's actually a real story. I had to go physiotherapist, and he was cute. Also, he I do his accent. He was actually Australian, but I can't do an Australian accent. I can't do an Irish accent, but I'm going to attempt that. So. The cute physiotherapist with his magic hands. Just lay down on the bed there. The cute, I know. The cute physiotherapist with his big plans. The pains in my inner thigh, just here. The cute physiotherapist and his soothing voice. Are you wearing suitable underwear? The cute physiotherapist, oh, what a great choice. I think you'll find them a good enough pair. The cute physiotherapist in complete equanimity. I'll rub the affected spot with great curve. The cute physiotherapist, naked, arm, massaging me. So, you say it's a minor sprain and thankfully not a tear. The cute physiotherapist. His hands on my thighs. Aye, with rest you'll be fine. Just have a seat on the chair. The cute physiotherapist undressing me with his eyes. Thanks for that. It feels much better already. I swear. The cute physiotherapist, his technique is a wonder. Well, I'd like to see it tomorrow. Book with a lady out there. The cute physiotherapist, his spell I am under. So, what's the plan of action? Where do we go from here? The cute physiotherapist with a firm handshake to boot. I look forward to our next session. You make sure you take her. The cute physiotherapist is my physiotherapist. That's cute. I look forward to our next session. And you make sure you take care. Thank you. This one I wrote, I'm an actor, and I suppose with any sort of creative career, you always have your resting times when you have to do other jobs that you don't really want to pay the rent. So this one's called Resting. This is a job that I did in a call centre. It was great. Okay. The pods control us, constrict. Its circular shape forces our faces inwards towards our dirty, sticky screens covered in the projected corpse of a soul killed by lunchtime. We offer thanks that our chairs are soft, swivel and recline. We offer special offers, and account detail requests are often met by anger and confusion and suspect. The lights are hypnotic. They discreetly glaze our eyes, and desperate cries for a quick way out are revealed through rapidly rising salt waters. This is our rest, they call it. Buckets. She cries, buckets. But no one offers her a shoulder. They only curse her for concealing the laughter, the smiles that surface when he is about. But she is soaking all with her tears, and no one sucks it in to lighten the load. They all hold on to the hope of his arrival, proud and hot and spreading joy, always one without the other. With her they run for cover, with him they lay open in his heat, proud and hot and spreading joy. She wishes they could meet. Maybe he could teach her how to love and be loved. He's not sure about her, never wants to chat with her, spend time with her. When he's there and she pops round, all foreheads turn to frown, smiles upside down, then everyone leaves, goes home and the party's pooped. And besides, when she's somewhere crying and he comes by and he's trying and offers her a hand and a friendly guy, hi, she sneaks off, wipes her tears and doesn't even say bye. But that's just her sadness, her inner self-torture. She believes they could make something so special together. Her tears, his fire, birthing something full of colour. But they'll never see it. No one will ever know. And so, she cries. Buckets. We haven't got any Christmas-themed poems. Sorry about that. But this one, I suppose we should remember people who are on their own at Christmas. And this one is called Loneliness. Is this loneliness? Wind-kissed, my abandoned cheeks yearn for the sun. Hands lay open with nothing to hold but the cold truth there's something missing. And what's left is slipping. Squinted eyes hide forgotten lies, though the burning heart tries to reveal it. Why do I feel like crying? Thank you. And I've got one more, and it's called The Wonder of You. I wonder if you realise that I love you. I wonder if you know just how much. I wonder if you know when I'm not with you, I yearn for your hand's gentle touch. I wonder if you see me in your future with smiles and with silly haircuts. I wonder if you're thinking of me now as I wake up and I think of you. I wonder if you're aware that I smile when I see things that remind me of you. I wonder if I've ever hurt you. I know that I never want to. I wonder if you ever leave me, I wonder then, what would I do? And I wonder if you ever wonder of me. because you see, my mind wanders when I'm in.
Make some noise for Jazz Man
Jazz
Jawdance.
is the music of poetry, poetry is the jazz of life.
Yes!
And David Morgan mentioned the title in his piece. This is it. This is it. This is what we've been dreaming about. This is where we came in. This is all we know. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is the parting of the ways. This is as far as it goes. This is where we all get off. This is where we've been all this time. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is what we do in a crisis. This is the sentence we got for that crime. This is us learning to forget. This is the empty feeling you get inside when there's no place left to hide. This is the one and only time we'll do this, the unrepeatable moment. This is our only hope, delivered with peace and love. This is us drinking at the Last Chance Saloon. This is the ascent of a single hot air balloon. This is where we were meant to meet. This is the road we take, where we were meant to be. This is how we find how far we've come. This is us speaking furiously like the deaf and the dumb. This, as far as we know, is nothing to do with us. This is Bob Marley as he recorded Exodus. This is the turnaround without betrayal. This was meant to be a lasting tribute to the blues breakers and blues father John Mayall. This is all we can do to reverse the result of all those who consider their lives have failed. This is it, this is it, this is it. And you can take it from us, oh you can take it from us, that none of us really understands why people kick up such a fuss over nothing at all. But this is the card they give you when you get out of jail. Yeah, this is the card they give you when you get out of jail. So you better believe, boy, this is it, this sure is it. As sure as we can ever be of anything this side of heaven. Maybe that's just as well, because there are times I often think, that this is that place we've come to know as hell. But this is it. I'm truly convinced that this is it. And the rest of us all can simply go to the devil. And then there's one last thing, spinning around my mind. None of us will ever know. None of us will ever know. I just like to be.
Real quick, Peter, hey, let's go!
This is my Christmas remix. It's called Last Christmas. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and the very next day you gave it away. Well, that isn't exactly true. The very next day was Boxing Day, and my heart was just fine. I was eating a cold turkey sandwich with a side portion of pigs in blankets, watching some shit on TV. A Shark's Tale, if I remember it correctly. Anyway, upon the side sat my Christmas present from you. A soda stream. A fucking soda stream. I should have known this contraption of South Korean pasta would be the start of our downfall. You see, at the time I was so in love with you. It didn't matter that I chased around 20-odd bookshops trying to find a first edition of your favourite book, 100 Years of Solitude. It didn't matter that the book cost 70 quid, or the man behind the counter was a bit snooty because I asked him if there was a Subway sandwich shop nearby. It didn't matter that on top of the book I bought you a pair of earrings, a chain to keep your keys on because you kept on losing them, and finally Spooks Series 2. I wouldn't have bought the latter, but you kept on bombarding me with subtle hints like, I really like Spooks, especially Series 2. I don't know why, I've got every series of Spooks, apart from Series 2. So on and so forth. You see, last Christmas I gave you my heart, and the very next day, well, that was Boxing Day. And I was just fine. When I was laying on the sofa with my top button undone, I didn't know you were slowly fading. It took me a couple of months to notice you gradually drift away. That soon the glimmer in the corner of your eyes was turning a stony type of grey. That our hands and bodies didn't collide with a frequency I so desired. That the words you spoke were just a smokescreen for an underlying truth. You didn't love me anymore. I would have been fine if you just came out and said it. I would have adjusted somehow, but you didn't. And now you're there and I'm here in our own different worlds, two presents divided, you see. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, and that was the best that I had to offer. This year, to save me from tears, I'm setting out an instalment plan. My new love will have to earn my heart in 12 not so easy payments. Each month a new piece of me will come to light. And I guess it's at this point I have to apologise to you, my future love. I'm sorry I didn't meet you sooner. I'm sorry I'm not the man who would give anything, absolutely anything for love. Because last year, I gave my heart to someone special. And she bought me a fucking soda stream in return. Thank you.
Introducing to the stage, Caroline Knight.
Two short poems, and I'm sorry, Mr. Policeman, if I go too long. The first one. I am the fish who has broken away from the shoal. It wasn't for me, herd mentality and conformity. I'm alone in the ocean, floundering, buffeted this way and that by changes and currents, fickle like fluids. Eddies and whirlpools maim my brain and leak through my eyes. Salt water makes my tears invisible. Shall I find a whale, wallow in its shades, protected from the waves? The sea is wild. I don't want to conform to survive. The Gulf Stream has me mired. I can see the shoal in the distance. They are smug and laugh at me. I want to swim free across each and every sea. But the ocean wasn't built for fish like me. And there's another one of about similar length called The Actor. A few attractive ingredients I like the taste of, thrown together. They start to simmer, rise like sponge. All that is needed is a spark beneath them struck, once will do. A glimmer of a flame that would hover in and out of awareness, but always there. The match doesn't seem to grow smaller. The affair played out, vivid in my daydreams, better than anything reality could offer. I'm having this tryst through one-way glass. You're ignorant of my gaze through the blacked-out pane. Me, the audience, you on stage, sufficiently near. I can see and hear. I know how you kiss. My imagination fills in the rest. But then I went backstage. Tinted glass became almost clear. Just for a second, actor meets critic. The fantasy is dead. Will a new one grow instead? Thank you.
This is Victoria and Bully.
Hello. Hey. This one is called The Head and Heart Converse. Move this down a little bit. I'm starting to see this as a need. You see, every poem is an event, an episode. Like, something happened and it's okay, maybe you don't know me and you don't know my story, but I do. So I sit and I write. And I do it out of the fright that I get when my heart says to my head, I don't want to forget everything that's happened to us. And my head says, but I do. Why? Why not? There is so much else to think about. Like what? Like, what could be more important than the fact that you are nothing without me? That without me you wouldn't be. What's that? I got that so wrong. Okay. I'll start again. What could be more important than the fact that you are nothing without me? Without me you wouldn't beat, so without me you wouldn't be. I move the legs, the arms and the feet. I move her mouth and allow her to speak. It is I who grew and learned her words and the sum of 2 + 2, yet now I answer to you. I'm sorry, it's not practical. We have to keep moving. We have to move forward. What does that mean? Why do you tell me to calm down, or that we have to move forward, or that my stepping aside so that you must decide what happens next? If it is true that there are plenty more fish in the sea, plenty more hearts like me, waiting to meet and beat together, then why must you keep saying so? I feel sometimes that you are lying to me, that not everything's as real as it seems. I talk to you every day, between beats and at night between dreams, but when you don't like what I say, you put me back in my cage, ordering me to work at a steady pace. And then you force a smile onto the face and a laugh out of the lungs until you almost have us both believe that we heard the joke and found it funny. You want consistency, efficiency, constancy. But I wasn't built in a factory, and better yet, I never came with a warranty, so don't forget, you have to hear me just sometimes. Because when it comes to you, I can't afford to lose my head. Like you said, you are the one that makes me beat. Without you, I wouldn't be. You move the legs, the arms and the feet, and you power the lungs and I whilst the others sleep. But this night, once more we speak, and though you can't cease to think, my job too has no end in sight. And I can't tell you how I have laid awake endless nights, questioning for whose sake I rattle, when it seems so often I only beat to break. It takes the longest battle to keep my rhythm right. But despite the troubles I've counted, you are my most feared fight. At which point my head softened, says, okay, all right, let's write. Thank you.
Make some noise for Amy McAllister.
Hello. I'm going to start with a poem about a friend of mine who admitted that instead of talking to fill awkward silences with people, she has sex with them. So this is called role play. Tonight we shared 2 pizzas, 3 slices each of each, ham and pineapple and meat feast. I finished 5 whole minutes after you. Does that make you a total Hoover beast? No, what it is that your concentrated chewing shuts you up. And as you bite your way through greasy cheese and bread, I bite my way through silence, pushing tired teeth and lips, a sticking jaw, mouth first into another anecdote or fact about the Mormons, Germans, emus, natural disasters, the invention of disposable plasters, the benefits of separate hot and cold taps in the bath, now almost obsolete. On and on I bleat. And later when my hands go on your knees and I lean in, it might be because I love you and I want it, or it might be because we're tired of reality TV, but know that we have thrice watched every DVD, shared ownership, and I have drained my well of vocal energy, near split my lip to keep you occupied. Come warrior, come wander in my jungle of distractions. I'm a monkey and you know that monkeys love a good banana. Oh, the drama in our bed would make Hugh Hefner wildly jealous. Still, I know I'm overzealous, but I'm frightened as a child, not of the dark. One of my top 10 thrills is cycling no hands at 3 a.m. through Shoreditch Park, not of the dark, but of the void. So let's avoid it, can we, baby? Yeah, maybe it's not right and we should trip our separate ways into the light-polluted night, but London's massive and we're lonely. Look, I only ask for 30% effort on your part. That much, that little, won't quite pump my suffocating heart, but it's a start. So, like those extras at the Oscars hired to occupy the toilet-going famous people's places, we can plug the empty spaces. Manic grins upon our faces in the hope that we'll be snapped up by the ones who really need us, want to feed us, breed like rabbits, roll around in our bad habits, make us love the bits we pay people to change, make us exchange our valuables for something far more important, a camper van. You're not that man, and I don't make you want to buy a cat, we both know that. But it would take so long for me to move my shit out of your flat. So, let's imagine I'm a ping pong ball, and you can be the bat. This next poem is really shit, but it's Christmassy, and it's real, so I thought I'd read it anyway. It's called The Pinch. Santa did it backwards and took our toys away. He came too soon, just after noon on Christmas Eve, by day. Me man was in a panic. Me dad was in his truck, with Frank and I oblivious that tomorrow would come unstuck. If we had been spying on the jolly man himself, we'd have seen that he was 20, with a crowbar for an elf, and a moped for a flying sleigh, its bells some 90s song. On his roseless cheeks a mangy beard just millimeters long. But we never saw him coming, and too quickly he had split with my Yamaha half keyboard and Frank's dragon painting kit. So we ended up with buttons and a lion bar. That was it.
Oh.
This is, I don't really normally actually write poems about like family or home and stuff, but at Christmas Day, I don't know, it seems to be sort of relevant. So this is about home. It's called Microcosm. Locked out again, not knowing when a spare key would scrape me safe. At dusk, Julie's mammy coaxed me in, concealing that she thought it such a sin for me to be bestupid like a scrawny waif. My first microwave experience then, corn popping as quickly as the pockets of my childhood bubble wrap. each kernel bursting under the pressure, a searing blossom born of heat and hate, salty, sharp and raring to create, then left to stand for one electric minute. And I had stood for many more, this day and many days before, wanting to be melted down like butter, to be swirled into the wood of my front door, to hide, or for my family's pride, or to be widely reported as to have mysteriously died. Not on a rotating plate, for people who don't like to wait and don't much mind if what comes out doesn't taste great. I listened for the popping to slow down and knew when I was older I'd leave town. And in their kitchen dining room extension, I saw an unfamiliar lack of tension. No pop culture here, only popcorn. This one is not Christmassy either. This one is about a friend of mine who's German, who has been really depressed and down and stuff, and he went on a road trip around America, and I wrote this for him. It's called Traveling. I hope you get that job you went for, and I hope your road trip's awesome, and I hope you endeavour to eat most days, and I hope you make sensible music choices so as not to tip yourself over on the bad days, and I hope you remember that the rain is for the grass and not for pissing on the embers of your dreams. I hope the desert leaves you overwhelmed, but in a good way. And I hope the losses in Las Vegas push the blood into your feet. I hope the Rocky Mountains numb your bruising with their sleet. I hope you flirt with girls who are attractive in their special one-toothed way, and that some pretty ones desire you, and that the feeling that you've lost your manly instincts goes away. I hope you learn to ride a horse because you really wanted to, and I hope you take forbidden routes because it's what a German wouldn't do. I hope glass memories leave you, swept away by earth and wood, and that you see that you can rule the world. I've always known you could. I hope Niagara falls on smiling cheeks and open hands, and I hope you dare to taste the meat from dodgy hot dog stands and wake up 6 hours later with horrendous swollen glands, so you experience the healthcare systems of these foreign lands. I hope the subway's creepy, and the train is running late, and the busker on your platform is ridiculously great, and that you walk when it says don't. And that you're asked to model for a Benetton commercial, but you won't, because you're busy having pancakes with some dude who used to set up the equipment for Thin Lizzy. I hope you feel the sun again, and smell the salt before you see the sea, and think most mornings of yourself and how you're brilliant, and discover that you are in fact retrievable, resilient. And I hope your quest for solace leads you one day back to me. Alright, shut up now. This is another Christmassy one, and it's also a bit shit, but I'm sorry, seasonal, it's about that thing that some of you might not know about Santa. So if you don't know a thing about Santa, which is quite upsetting, you should leave now. Okay, it's called But Once a Year. It was the first lie and the biggest. The discovery took the stars out of my eyes, more a blow than a surprise, for I had not before imagined that my imagined sphere of unicorns and miscellaneous flying shit could be pricked airless by the laws of physics. Physically sick, I shook and wept and cried, "Why didn't you tell me?" And you replied, "It is the government and Coca-Cola. They make us lie and tell you there's a beardy, chuckling fat man in the sky." I thought to tell the toddlers on my road to nip a trail in the bud and crumble rocks before they burned into stars. But then we crumbled fancy red-stained cheese and watched Coronation Street with subtitles for Deaf Granny, and played Cluedo for the one and only time, and Daddy laughed when I said cologne mustard, and I realised that Christmas Day was magic after all.
Make some noise for Mr. Anthony.
This poem is, alas, not about Christmas. It is in fact about sort of the government incompetence. But owing to that government incompetence, it's a message in some ways to enjoy Christmas whilst you can, because as you all know, quite soon we play host to the greatest show that the world's ever seen, the London Olympics of 2013. It's late, so the spectacle's somewhat diminished, but now the arena is finally finished. It went over budget by numbers so large, as it would do with blonde Boris Johnson in charge, but the opening ceremony happens tonight. Oh dear, health and safety are having a fright. They've discovered the shoes and all the dancers' legs do not conform to all their rulebook regs. They might have to cancel. Oh no, just a sec. They found a stand-in. It's 22nd Dec. The Olympic flame, it's been reduced to nil. Ah, NPower's just told them they've not paid the bill. So that ends day one on a key very low, and it will not sit nicely with noble Lord Coe. And day two's a disaster, I'm sorry to say. On what should have been the bicycle race day, the pace car got lost due to its sat-nav quirks, and part of the route had been closed for roadworks. On the shooting range, our incompetent stuns, we forgot to order the ammo for the guns, but by far and away our biggest mistake was revealing the medals are plastic and fake. And day three is also a problem, I fear. I'm stood in the stands, there's nobody here. Underground bomb scare in old London town. System is paralysed, network shut down. Event postponement as per the law. Chaos is reigning, and on to day four. Official reception for top diplomats, corporate leaders and other fat cats. Everyone's having the time of their lives. Up to the moment Prince Philip arrives. 5 minutes later, and picture the scene. He's having to be dragged away by the Queen. He's upset the Irish, he's upset the French, Iranians, Libyans, Dame Judi Dench. He's told the Germans, we won the bloody war. Expelled from the UN, and now he's out the door. Now all of the nations, they've all had enough. All leaving England and all in a huff. But then things for us take a further dive as they all try to get home from Terminal 5. Luggage is missing, there's nowhere to sit, and now other world leaders are having a fit. They have spent millions, got their hopes built up, only for us lot to all screw it up. But when they get home, they all start to plot. Will they all stand for this? No, they will not. And nations who've hated and nations who fought each other for all time but only gained naught and killed fellow people, let their fighting cease and come to the table and start talking peace, but form all their anger in one dreadful band and turn all their atom bombs on old England. And the message that came, that chilled to the core, came early one morning on Radio 4, and after he'd said it, Zeb Soames ended speak. But the programmes we wouldn't be hearing that week. 4 minutes later they ended our lives, and the country the whole world had come to despise. Old England went up in a mushroom cloud, in a screw-up of which we can be oh so proud. For all other nations from that point had peace, and all hostile and all friendly fire did cease, in an infinite settlement sealed by a seal, our lasting legacy to the Olympic ideal.
Hi. With vim, the antagonist scheme, in public brazen reigning spleen, emotions rock this feudal scene, bigots with a sheepish sheen, the more I preen they play obscene, agnosine this caste regime, apostates prefer I green. No more shall I self-demean, no more talk of disesteem. My existence pending on a gene, no guilt shall no more intervene. Gender innate, I swim upstream, be myself and I scream. Bewildered, never have I been, though labelled to the extreme. In amongst the crowd I've been. No more shall I self-demean, no more talk of disesteem. The truth is the weak go unseen, strength on a continuum seen. In with my people I convene, to live life fully I keen. Nurture oneself from life I glean, from the sadness I have weaned, we find the art of dream. No more shall I self-demean, no more talk of disesteem. Alive this newfound self-esteem, hormones and courage split my screen. My breasts reveal my inner queen, full of cheeks and less I seen. Hips and buttocks no longer lean, muscle loss completes my scene. Womanhood can now be seen. No more shall I self-demean, no more shall I, yeah.
Ashley Yin Carew.
This one's called Of Knowledge. Neurological machines, minds and bodies, objective standards of genuine knowledge. Is there different systems of maths or logic? Yes. Art. Written, drawn, spoken, born. Consider realities, different points of view. Allow to be because it is of value to you. Grasp the concept and put into practice, and then observe people's reactions. Thank you. And this one's called And Here We Go. Excuse me if I mess it up. Sorry. Damn it.
Another one! Yeah! We love you.
I hear
Let me try and find it. is it? Why? You know the answers, but you're so physically tired, as if you've given birth to 10 children over 9 lives, this being the last. But you know it's only the universal rehearsal before the infamous first and last verse occurs to you too, fidget and scrutinisingly think that you've given everything but the kitchen sink. You must return always to the black hole in your heart, shake your fears out, make the oil paint and ink swirl, for only then, again, will the picture be clear. You are and always will be God's little girl.
Aww.
Thank you.
The blessing.
Greetings.
Greetings.
You know, like, I decided I was going to be a poet. I just decided one day. I just thought, I saw someone on the stage and I thought, I can fucking do that, you know what I mean? Write down a few rhymes, you know what I mean? A few sort of deep shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, I decided to do it and I just thought, right, you just got to be brave and do it, you know what I mean? So I thought, right, I'm a poet. Rather delude yourself than doubt yourself, you know what I mean? And the first place I came to do my thing was here, you know what I mean? And the second time I came, what happened was, I didn't get on. I gave that Peckham boy.
Do you see what I mean? Why did he have to say Peckham though? Enjoy your set, Errol.
Listen, it goes deep because I'm from Brixton, you know what I mean? So I put my name down, but like they didn't call me up, you know what I mean? So you can imagine, I'm sitting there from 7:30, fucking 10:30 comes, they still haven't called me, I'm fucking half pissed by then. Anyway, so I get on with my set. You know? I forgave him, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
But anyway, I must admit, I feel like a bit of an imposter here because they gave me like a feature, you know what I mean? There's some wicked poets come up and done some, you know, some of that magical Alakazam poetry, but anyway, we've got to start somewhere. Okay, boom. So, they got me down for a bit of that slam poetry, a bit of the old wham bam thank you man poetry, so I got a bit of stage, some joy, a bit of rage for a bit of microphone stand poetry. I don't know if I'm going to challenge those concepts of reality in your mind with some magical Alakazam poetry. I reckon this is more like, you know what I mean, some poems, some speakers, a truck, some out the back of the van poetry. Listen, I had an idea, you know alphabet spaghetti? Well, how about this? Haikus in tomato sauce. How come they've never tried to can poetry as if they could ever can poetry? Listen, you're going to respect the way it affects, even if you cannot stand poetry. I don't know, I just love Gertrude Stein. You soon find that you don't even have to understand poetry. Before this first for words in verse, there was first for words stand poetry, but I didn't go to rehab, no, fuck no. I went on a bend and I crammed poetry. Now I've got those verses and rhymes in my mind all the time because I'm banging up with that damn poetry. There's no getting away from it. Sometimes you just have to sit the fuck down and plan poetry. And I know this is like kind of prop card in hand poetry at the moment. This is the best that I can poetry. The cynic in my head saying, poet, you fucking wish. And I start to think, is this some kind of sham poetry? You know, some kind of dick in hand poetry? Flush it down the pan poetry? No, but still, I'm a beginner. And to get your head around those cosmic concepts, that journey within demands poetry. I mean, who am I? Well, I am who I am. I'm Errol, and right now, God damn it, for the next 10 minutes, I am poetry. So easy, lovely. Thank you. Let me get on with the next bit before he kicks me off. Yes. Okay, I'm really glad that you applauded like that because if you didn't, I might have got a bit upset, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I did tell you I'm a Brixton boy, you know what I mean? You get upset when you no, seriously, it's like before when you saw me, that was the old me. No, I wasn't this new me that now stands before you. I know I look the same, but truly I've changed, and this is a brand new me. this is the me that resided in me, that's decided to be and is now demanding expression. I said, this is the me that's required to be, that's inspired to be, and now, before my confession, this is a new me, so excuse me while I read the warranty and clause, Amy. Well, it says here quite clearly that this here, the new me, is complete, whole and without any flaw. The old me would scold me. Many times old me told me that I wasn't good enough to do shit. The best thing about the new me is that I now know that the old me was talking a load of it. Furthermore, you know all that crap I've done before? Fuck it, I've been absolved. The universe isn't keeping score. I said, this is a new me, no longer unruly when things don't go my way or people don't do as I say. I said, that was the old me. You could not control me because I would just fly into a rage, but it's okay. Old me's not around anymore. He's got me locked up in a cage. I said, this is a new me. Excuse me. You don't know that I'm on the Jawdance stage. Where are you? No, if you ain't here on Bethnal Green Road, call me back later. And I know, because I said to you, on the stage, pub, you know what I mean? You'll get the DVD. Catch it on YouTube. I hope someone's got this. Where was I?
The new
me, wasn't it? So I was saying that. I was saying, if I could catch it. This is the new me. No more excuses based on my upbringing and my history. I said I've turned a new page, I've become a bit of a sage and I'm writing a brand new story. This is a new me. Now to express what I think, I transform paper with ink and I save all my rant and my rage for the stage. The new me knows that there's nothing wrong with me, that what's right with me can't fix. There, I'll give you that for free. That's a solution-focused therapy tip. Now, how to get the best of this new me? Best not to pick a fight with me. I said the old me was out of control before. You don't want to invite an encore. Shine me light and what's right with me if you want to stay tight with me. Anyway, this is the new me. There's nothing you can even do me. You can even boo me. I love you. Sue me. Don't you fucking dare. What did I just say? This is a new me. You can even boo me. I love you. So sue me. I said the new me is still me. You feel me? I'm just acting a bit more responsibility. Oh, you can become so fond of my newfound ability to respond. I'm taking life a bit more seriously, even though I'm still a bit boyful. Every day the new me writes down 10 reasons to feel joyful. Why? Because the new me knows that all that matters is that I feel good. And this was something that the old me never properly understood. So I stand up more straight, I breathe more deeply, I freaking meditate. And it's like I'm connected to a different state. I don't know, call it my spirit, my essence, my sin. All I know is that my bling is within and my heart no longer feels so tight and gloomy. It feels more bright and roomy. Oh, this new me so bright and bloomy. The old me was so criticizing, but I said this new me, I got that whoa, kundalini rising. And this is just the beginning, because while I got those tracker wheels spinning, I get win-win situations with all my fellow beings. I said, do you like this new me? Yeah. Do you want to do me? Yeah. I don't blame you. I would do too if I could do myself, which is really ironic, because I told the old me to go and fuck himself. I said, if your cow won't go moo, I mean, if your old you won't do, then you've got to find yourself a brand new you. Like me. You'll feel like you're first in the queue. This is a brand new me with a seat on the front row pew and I've got the room with a view. I said before, when you saw me, that was an old me. I wasn't this new me that now stands before you. I know I look the same, but truly I've changed. This is a brand new me. Thank you. She comes to me, she doesn't walk, she runs to me. On sunny Sunday morning, she comes to me to snuggle up and slum with me, and she snickers every time I sniff her neck. She's just my little slumming bee. In dungarees, she comes to me, a whirl of yellow trainers, red socks and limbs like sleek mahogany. I said she comes to me, she sings songs to me. When she doesn't know the words, she hums to me. I hum along in harmony. We're just a couple of humming bees. She comes to me spontaneously, decides to practice some kind of yoga, gymnastics, performing symphonies of angles and curves of some kind of sacred geometry. Then it's breakfast in bed, she says, and we feast on the scrambled eggs and toasted bread. What she done for me, the eggs and the bread was bought from the farmer's market with the last of her money, she's sure to inform me. Then she finds a plastic bottle and she builds a big bong for me. I said, whoa, 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 what you doing? But she doesn't respond to me. She's got autonomy. She takes her deep, strong, long, bubbling lungful and then passes it on to me. But fuck it, I can't lock her up in her nunnery. She's got autonomy. So you know what? We take that shit out onto the balcony where we discuss the Freemasons and the bastard Illuminati. Conversationally, she's so profound. She speaks so eloquently. It must come from me. And we're just a couple of buzzing bees. This isn't wrong to me, smoking a bong with my boo on the balcony. What's wrong to me is previously what love done to me. I allowed the sting to get stung on me, and in the ensuing cacophony, what was once a national park, my heart became a slum to see. But then she comes to me, she dropped love bombs on me, she sung to me. I'm her biggest fan, yet she comes to me, undoing the wrongs with me, reminding me that what's right can heal what's wrong with me. That's why she's always banging a gong for me. She comes to me, belongs to me, and nothing she could ever do could ever be wrong to me. And honestly, I don't even question how long she's going to hang on to me. She resisted years of propaganda just to be done with me. Right now, this is where she wants to be, at one with me. And as for me, you'd have to hold a freaking gun to me. She comes to me. Could I compare her to a summer's day? Well, of course I could, but then I'd have to include the Milky Way, I'd have to include the other galaxies, fuck, I'd have to change my vocabulary, I'd have to learn the language of astrology because we're talking light years away, and when she smiles, oh, that's it. Now we're beyond galactic, now we're in the realms of the esoteric. I'd have to learn some ancient African script, some Hebrew or Sanskrit, just to explain it. And I, like a summer's day, couldn't come close to a comparison because we're talking a passion beyond a mere summer's day. We're talking anomaly. The Big Bang, she's the bomb to me. I've been trying to hold it down, but I think she's on to me. She's started to tease me, make fun of me. In my response, I make...
That's not
my best friend. She knows I'm fond of her. In my response, I make fun of her. I put a little sauce on the radio, a little merengue. I pull her up twice to come and dance with me. I spin around twice and pull her close to me. And I don't know what it was. Maybe she just couldn't take the sensei, but then she vomited up all over me. I dived in the shower and I left her to clean up for me. And she swears that she's never, ever, ever going to smoke again. Well, she's got autonomy, and I'll tell you what, experience is a better teacher than I could ever be. So she starts to settle. I give her a cup of blueberry tea, add a little ginseng and honey, and she starts to settle comfortably. But too soon she's got to go. She's meeting her mum at 3. She warns me not to mention her smoking. I say, do I look crazy? She says, actually, Dad, sometimes, just a little bit, maybe. She said, now I'm broke, and I'm broke now, and can she get some from me? I take her to the cash point, I give her the cash, and then she's gone from me.
It's Jamila Wisdom.
Okay, for this poem, I need you to use your imagination. First, you need to think about someone that you really, really loved and that broke your heart. Everyone got that?
Snap of that, yes.
Now, I want you to imagine that I'm Cupid and you really, really hate me, okay? This is my response to you. Bitterness consumes every corner. Like a mourner, I grieve over sweet history. My tooth tastes these memories, now fleeting. A foreigner to my resident state of melancholic mystery. I gaze with a forlorn expression at the bleak cave that holds my possessions. amazed that innocence could be corrupted with such subtlety, burning a discrepancy into my current reality. A career once stable in monetary value, paydays now, resentment resulting from bankruptcy. Who nowadays would be so stupid to earn themselves the title Cupid? Once a mastermind of romantic gestures, I never questioned my father's lectures in love. I could have swore it existed as pure, but maybe my education was laced in grammatical errors as I sift through this multitude of angry letters, blood-red ink spilled from tears of a broken heart. Crimson piercing words that kick-started my spiral into emotional desolation. Chartering my failures on scented papers, scribbles of scorn and gloom, hatred convulsed in fast pulses. Armed with the alcoholic overdoses of a barren womb, trapped in a tomb filled with the scent of despondent perfume, I can't breathe. Choking on the realization that they blame me for kindling attraction and half-hearted love affairs, for complacent partners who leave their spouses unaware as they undress, cheat and stare into the bosom of another, for 72-day marriages that end because the pregnancy of what they called love ends up in miscarriages. I walk on broken glass, shattered pieces of broken hearts, splinters of the past. I remain a target for their actions, their failures and their dissatisfaction. So with all this hate that I've acquired, guess what, world? I retire. So don't blame me for your pain. I remain true, and the responsibility for finding love, that now lies with you.
Good evening.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling?
Good.
Great show today, great show. It's my first time here, first time performing as well. Alright, this piece is called Perfect Partner. I've been looking for someone to share my life with. I've been looking for someone who'd make me really happy. I met a few people who told me who'd be perfect for me, but they said she wouldn't be interested unless I've had some interactions with a few people before her. So then I met education. She gave me knowledge. Then I met history. She gave me pride. I also met belief, who gave me determination and motivation. My good friends and family kept pushing me to find her. But I was told in order to meet this perfect partner, I was still missing something. Eventually, after many tries, I met up with ambition. She was really good to me. She gave me direction and goals. As I continued my journey to meet my match, I flirted with doubts, but I told her it would not work. Fear. She had me for a while. I overcame her and I told her I wasn't interested. They introduced me to their boss. She went by the name of Failure. After spending some time with her, I kindly rejected her and I told her I wasn't destined to be with her and that I never wanted to see her again. You see, my journey for learning never stopped, because after all the hard work, I finally found my perfect partner, and she goes by the name of Success. We are now very happy together. I told her if it wasn't for education, history, belief, ambition, and good friends, I would never have found her. Now that I found her, I never want to lose her. I'll never go backwards, because I've already met Failure, and she has nothing in Success.
So Tracy Cypher.
Hi everyone. This poem is about a relationship I was in. I shouldn't have been in, but it's called 8 Bloody Years.
He'll come back when he stands.
Okay. Why, when I let you fly? That was my last Facebook status. No comment yet, but just one like from a vet. But she missed the point. It was a question. I need it answered. Answer how I can break this connection. If there's an overhead pill, give me the injection. Because I'm gonna need divine intervention before I start calling him on private just to hear him mention. I know you're thinking, this girl's a stalker. Get over it, love. Going on like he made you walk on water. Yeah, you're right, but I don't care. Can't I release my feelings? Problem shared brings you close to healing, so don't judge me. I got a BBC broadcast the other day saying, if he loved you, he would, if he would call you if he missed you, wipe your tears, throw away the tissue, stop rehearsing how to say I forgive you, or I miss you. He's not worth it. If he valued you, he wouldn't dish you. I hate when technology's right. But we were so tight. We've known each other for years. 8 bloody years. But I never knew he'd bring me to tears. My mind and my brain keeps asking my heart, are you sane? Refrain from using this dude's name. Are you serious? Are you taking a mic? Walk away like Peggy did to Vic. Turn the page to the next stage, a different chapter. Find the person who's going to take you to that happy ever after. A billionaire voice like Bruno Mars. He doesn't have to have cars, but he can drive you to the stars. You can leave him behind, with God you are able. You can ride this out and leave the stable. You can make this nothing to another one of life's fables. You can look to the sky instead of setting the cable. There's more out there. The chances are not slim. Just when I thought I'd gain confidence, my phone rang. It was him. Thank you.
From Waynesboro, Christian Watson.
In case any of you are wondering, 6'6". It's really horrible going on stage after someone like Errol because he's so lovable. And as I've been talking to my ex-girlfriend this week, I've realised I'm actually an arrogant, horrible, confrontational man who's unlovable. So you've got that to look forward to in the next 10 minutes. I could do with some of that relationship counselling if you're offering that afterwards. Because as you do with when you meet up with your ex, we ended up having sex and then cried on each other. Which wasn't very nice for any of my friends afterwards who I had to talk to about it. Now I can't bring myself to say Merry Christmas because I don't really get involved with mass hysteria, to be honest, which is why I hate pretty much most of civilization. But as some kind of concession to your weird idea of what to do at this time of year, rather than just hibernate and watch old series, old Wire, or some other box sets, something like that, you tend to just get drunk and get weird. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little concession to that. I'm going to give you a poem which is set in the place where my favourite 2 Christmas films are set. That's 2 Christmas films, that's Santa Claus the movie and Home Alone 2, which despite popular belief is better than the first one because it has my favourite city in it, and that's what this poem is about. And if you want to make it Christmassy, imagine snow. New York, New York. The city's so nice, they named it 1,000 times. It's a big apple, the city of dreams yet never sleeps. It's where Warhol painted Marilyn and Dondi paints trains. Where Lady Liberty asks for your poor and hungry in a French accent, and the Empire State sees a proposal a minute. It's where warriors come out to play and Pliskin is trying to escape. Where Bombata first broke beats and Rocksteady first broke dances. Where King Kong swings and alligators swim. Where 50 Cent got shot, Biggie Smalls got martyred, and Kerouac got on the road. Dylan shacked up in the village, and Sinatra sings a tune. It's where Goodfellas walk mean streets and miracles happen on 34th. Times Square, Brooklyn Bridge, Mayor Giuliani and J. effing C. Now, my strongest memory of New York, I shuffle under the stairs of a tenement, breathing in graffiti, crack vials, and the raised voices of young couples fighting through their emotional inexperience like a playground's overweight kid who never had a fight, swinging at empty air when he blows that land are accidental, causing more damage than intended. I breathe in damp vinyl, rugs rough with cigarette burns, microwave dinners and the fear that lies behind door number 3. Lydia, 78, moved by the state because she couldn't afford to die in the home she grew up in. Now she flinches at every smash of broken glass, every dog that barks, every backfiring car that comes drive by gunshots in her faded imagination. I climb bare, broken stairs which creak frets and collapse under my feet. I try and step light, keep my weight in my fists, my lungs full for buoyancy. Quickly past the flickering lights which give the shadows shape, past bruised doors, peeling paint that barely muffle the stabbing laughter of audiences captured. Quickly past the marble eyes of a rat sat on hind legs, watching me pass with the mild interest of a farmer watching cattle graze, knowing the slaughterhouse isn't far away. I climb till I reach the roof. Pushing through a door held together by boot marks, ragged splinters, marker pen signatures that will never see a checkbook. I stand beneath the orange canopy of the sky that stops me staring naked at the possibilities of stars and space. Even the moon hides her face. Occasional pinpricks shine in the smog cloud soup, reflections of skyscrapers held fast on the horizon like bars held fast in a prison cell window, each monolith glowing a different checkerboard pattern, each testing the limits of heaven, softly piercing the umbrella of the sky, their peaks lost in the city's sickly dusk to dawn glow. This is my strongest memory of New York. I can smell it as I inhale the stench of an open dumpster. Touch it as I reach out to steady myself on a sticky banister. Hear its shrieking sirens as I slow stride sidewalks with my hood up and eyes down. Taste it as I squirt mustard down my chin, biting into a steaming hot dog piled high with fried onions. It's as much part of me as my 10th birthday. Cub Scout camp. Snogging Michelle Trotter behind the changing rooms, getting shot by Jason's dad in the arm with an air rifle. Got a scar right there, just above my elbow. And the truth is, I've never been to New York. Not once. Not in this skin. But I've read so many books, seen so many films, heard so many names. I can paint pictures as real as any memory on the inside of my eyelids, and I know I'm not alone. New York exists in all our heads, in the heads of many who may never leave the village we were born into. It's the Big Apple, the city of dreams that never sleeps. The city so nice, they named it twice. Once for real, and forever in our dreams. A city where high above the smoking streets, 11 men sit on a girder, eating lunch like nothing matters, and there's not a plane in the sky. It was mainly in response to the Ian Tomlinson thing that happened, but I think it's become more relevant now because if you've seen, especially if you've seen all the videos of people getting beaten the shit out of by police all over the world. So this is basically what this poem's about, and I actually got, it's also a response to me getting maced in the face for asking a police officer what he's doing, and then getting beaten up and put in a cell all night long, and then not getting charged or anything, which I thought was fantastic. I live in a brilliant country, brilliant place. But at least I didn't get killed, or get my head shaved and put in a camp of being a punk, which is happening in Indonesia at the moment. Find this now. So this is a poem, it's a poem called Get Behind the Line. So are you ready for some anger, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, powerful.
I'll take the microphone off the stand so I can get angry. in a mobile fashion. This country is an official crime scene. All unauthorized personnel need to get behind the line. A temporary design of a truly defined over time may become a permanent fixture. We promise. Behind this official line of police tape camera action, there's nothing to see you can't watch on TV for your prepaid prescription lenses approved for your screens. You know, we're like nightmares, punctuated by dreams. So keep back. Nothing to see. Your eyes are only good for iris ID. Scan chip and pin, plastic personality, biometric database, state, totalitarian, wet dream, fantasy, reality. So hands in the air. Fingerprints, where I can see them. And the traction swinging boot face stamp beat goes on. New rules singing the same old song. Stop. Where are you going? Name, number, religion, seen beliefs written on skin, this is facial recognition. Permission to pray, assume the position. Secular crucifixion, like put your hands on the car, feet spread apart. Wider, kick wider, now don't get smart. Silence is compliance, so what do you say? I said shut it. Now, I don't want to delay. Now put your hands on your head and get in the back of the van, and you can join them too. If you don't keep back, keep quiet. We've been trained to treat protest as riot. Don't make me reach for the utility belt. I've got a CS gas, the blitz bat on the radio for backup distorting the facts. We don't condone violence, so no marks, no bruises, down to a science. Silence is compliance. What do you say?
Science.
Exactly. Police line, do not cross. Armed patrols with guns slung on chest means you could get shot. So keep back. Further, we got shoot to kill orders and no chance of a trial for murder. So practice restraint, perfect control, get behind the line, just do as you're told. Didn't you hear what I said? I said get behind the line. Or you could find he gets shot 8 times in the back of the head. Each shot a confession statement that says dead, 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 dead. Holotype bullet point exclamations in lead. So get back behind the line, you could find it's your body on the floor with an outline in chalk. Just another life turned into a news report. And if I suspect you're ready to take a chance, we get locked away. No trial, no sentence, just indefinite detention. No questions that can't be answered, but terminal lessons in crime prevention. This is the house arrest prison system you were told to ignore. Bringing the police line to your front door. Politicians swore it wouldn't affect you. Just the accused, the guilty, the targets approved. But the more ground they gain, the more they have to lose, and I don't see them giving any of that power back to you. So keep back, behind the line, police line, do not cross. And the line's getting closer. Make it easy on yourself, just do what you're supposed to, nod your head. Agree, move back, nothing to see, just remember you're free. Free to stay in your homes, buy products, invest. Internet so you go out less and less. So stay in your homes. Believe me, if you conform and obey in all the right ways, then you will be okay. So stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay in your homes. Thank you very much. Right then. I'm going to leave you. Thank you very, very much for listening to me ranting at you, especially at this time of the year, you people. Not for me, obviously. What I'm going to do on Christmas Day is I'm just going to smoke a bowl and watch a load of DVD box sets, really. I'm being thankful that I've got a day off, which is quite great. It's kind of weird, like you have one day where the shop's closed and everyone acts like it's the apocalypse and goes, we've got to get bread and milk, kids, quick, get the ammo, come on, let's go. It's a bit strange going to shops this time of year. But anyway, I've been Christian Watson. I've got some little things here which have ranty bits that I write, and it's got like stuff in it with words and things. It's got my details. You can see me on Facebook, on YouTube, all that kind of crap. And I'm going to leave you with this poem. It's a very short poem. I wrote it when I was about 12. It's one of my earliest poems. And when I wrote it, I didn't realise how profound and amazing it was. But when I read it back, when I was like 20, I was quite stoned at the time, might have been quite late, might have been crying about something. And I found this poem. And I was like, that sums up everything, the entire meaning of life. So I'm going to leave you now. Thank you very much. You've been an amazing audience. It's been really great. Thank you so much for Jawdance guys and Breeze as well. And I'm just going to leave you with the meaning of life, if that's okay. Cool. The meaning of life. It was a strange day, to say the least. Beginning early, ending late. Sitting with a hippo on a plane in a British Airways train. I don't know how I got here, or where I'm going to. And yet I'm going with a hippo, and a pile of hippo poo. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cecilia
My name is Cecilia della Torre. Thank you. Come from Slough. But when I was 4 years old, my family emigrated to Slough from Bristol. I am originally from Bristol. I'm rooting around for a plectrum. Now, I go back to Slough for Christmas because my mum still lives there, and this is my Christmas day. Have yourself a passive-aggressive Christmas. Make the Yuletide play with your mother's total inability to express deep-rooted anger in a healthy way. Would you like a hand in the kitchen, Mum? Oh Oh, I'm fine. You just sit there chatting. Have yourself a passive-aggressive Christmas. May your heart be light. Oh, this is delicious turkey, Mum. I'm so glad you like it. It took 4 hours to stuff. Here we are in the golden days. Happy olden days. 4 hours?
Yeah!
How can it take 4 hours to stuff a turkey? Well, first you get your chicken livers, organic. Then you marinate them in rum, port, Madeira, sherry and red wine. It's the Hugh Fearnley Whitting store recipe, so it's not cheap. Through the years we all be together. Meanwhile you sweat your onions in butter. Then you soak your porcini mushrooms. You try getting them this time of year. Hours I was queuing for those at the posh farm shop. If the fates allow. Then you fry your apple, bacon, chestnuts, cranberries, cherries, dates, damsons, ginger, juniper berries, orange peel, lemon zest, lemongrass and lemon rind. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. I had to go to 5 different supermarkets for all that. And have yourself a passive-aggressive Christmas. Then you spoon all that into the bird. That's a job and a half. Finally, you have to sew the blessed thing up by hand. Now, happy Christmas.